My niece thought it would be funny to hijack my phone and send fake "I want a divorce" text to my husband. Now he's upset, I'm embarrassed, and I'm seriously debating whether I should cancel her birthday gifts or teach her a lesson she won't forget. Yesterday, I visited my sister's place to lend a hand with a few tasks. I was there for a couple of hours and feeling quite fatigued, ended up taking a rather long 4-hour nap. Upon waking, I headed home to find my husband behaving somewhat unusually, appearing quite perturbed. When I inquired what was amiss, he responded, "I am remarkably composed considering the message I just received." Naturally, I immediately sent the children upstairs and pressed him for an explanation. He then revealed, "I sent myself divorce messages." I was completely taken aback as I had never done such a thing. I assured him of this, even showing him my phone, which contained no such correspondence. He then showed me his messages appearing under my name, where I supposedly initiated a divorce. I was utterly bewildered, not only because the thought had never crossed my mind but also because I certainly hadn't sent those texts. This upset him further because we had a disagreement the previous evening. However, we have a custom of reassuring each other that despite temporary discord, our affection and concern remain. I mention this because I had expressed similar sentiments that morning before leaving, a point I raised while defending myself against the alleged texts. He then accused me of a similar past incident, referring to a period during my pregnancy when I experienced some pronounced mood fluctuations, which have since largely subsided. This occurred only once and it was not nearly as severe. I simply endured significant emotional shifts. This was exclusively during my pregnancy, and I have no bipolar diagnosis or related condition. That entire experience was quite distressing and is not a pleasant memory for me, as he is well aware. After a brief back and forth, I decided to call my sister to explain the situation. I then asked her, "Could you access your home security footage from this morning when I was there?" While on a video call, we fast-forwarded to the time I went to sleep. The power outlet in the room I was in wasn't functional, so I had plugged my phone into the dining area to charge overnight. To our astonishment, we saw my 16-year-old niece using my phone on and off for approximately 2.5 hours, smiling and even giggling. Both I and her mother were deeply disturbed. My sister immediately called her, asking if she had touched my phone during my visit. My niece denied it. My sister pressed her 2 more times, and each time she insisted she hadn't. The laptop screen was facing away from her, so I believe she didn't realize I was on the call, or that we had both witnessed her actions. It was only when my sister attempted to send me the footage, which I had initially requested, that my niece realized her mother had already seen everything. She then began apologizing, claiming it was intended as a harmless prank and she meant no harm. She tearfully called out to me, offering her apologies. My sister, being the type to grow silent when angry, remained speechless. At that moment, I was at a complete loss for words myself. Why would she consider this a joke? Not to mention, how did she access my phone without my consent? I am unsure how she knew my password, as it's neither simple nor personally related to me. I had previously committed to sponsoring her 17th birthday, which is next month. She had also inquired about a new computer, which I had already purchased as a surprise. I also happen to be her godmother. My central question is, would I be overreacting to revoke all these gifts and maintain a distance from her? Is it an extreme measure? I worry I might be penalizing her for my husband's reaction, and for him reopening a painful memory for me. Perhaps his initial response was understandable, given he believed the texts were from me, and then I returned home cheerful and sweet. Update 1. To clarify, my 4-hour nap at my sister's house is not unusual. I'm a heavy sleeper and frequently rest at her home. It wasn't due to exhaustion from helping her. I was simply tired. Neither my sister nor my niece was aware of the argument my husband and I had the previous night. My niece was also not fully informed about the extent of my mental health challenges during my pregnancy. My niece wasn't continuously on my phone for 2.5 hours. She was on and off, presumably disengaging when she thought she might be discovered. Apparently, she has known my password for some time, having observed me entering it during a family event a few months prior. Furthermore, according to my sister, she has accessed my phone at least 3 other times, which she confessed to. She has transferred money to herself, taken videos and pictures from it, read my messages with my children and other relatives, obtained contact numbers of other people, acquired passwords for streaming services they didn't subscribe to, and even gone through private conversations with my husband, which contained very sensitive content. My husband and I are fine. We discussed the matter, and he apologized for his tone, but I assured him I completely understood his reaction given what he thought. I also apologized for my own response. We are now on good terms. recognizing that both of our reactions were justifiable given our individual understandings at the time. Returning to my niece, the only other thing she admitted to was transferring more money. I checked my recently deleted messages and found nothing suspicious, though I'm unsure if deleted text can be permanently removed from that folder. She also claimed she believed the prank would be humorous because she thought my husband would never actually believe the things she texted, asserting that he loves me too much and we have a flawless relationship. In the texts, he had only responded that they would discuss it when I arrived home, and that he wouldn't engage in such a conversation via text. This girl went as far as to state that I would send legal documents in a few days and arrange child custody through lawyers. I cannot express my absolute fury. The current plan is to go completely no contact with her, especially after uncovering her other actions. There will be no birthday celebration and no new computer. Someone suggested posting a message asking if anyone received a questionable text from me in the past 24 hours. I did so, and no one has responded yet, so I hope it was just my husband. I am also reclaiming my money. I discovered she had sent over $700 to herself, of which I was unaware. She didn't send it in large sums but rather in small increments, which I suppose is why I didn't notice, as I often send her money, and I have a substantial amount in my account. Her mother will be sending me the money from her daughter's savings later this weekend. I informed her mother about the suggestions for community service and therapy. I am honestly a little concerned about her future relationships and college life. She will have no electronic devices for the remainder of the summer. Personally, I do not wish to see her in the near future. And yes, she has done this previously to one of her friends, with whom she remains close. I don't understand why anyone would maintain a friendship with someone who acts like that. This has caused me immense pain because I deeply cherish this child. I was more present in her life than her father for her first 11 years. She used to confide in me about her challenges and adolescent issues. She even experienced her first period at my house. Her cousins on her father's side are actually envious of our bond, for goodness sake. She was truly my favorite. I don't really care what her mother decides to do about all this. I just want my money back and to cease contact with her for now. In the future, I might consider some form of communication. I blocked her number, so she sent a lengthy email, which I haven't read yet, and her mother also delivered a handwritten apology letter from her to my husband. My sister is aware of my decisions and has expressed remorse for her daughter's behavior. My mother is also now informed of the situation, and I have no doubt it is about to escalate into a broader family issue. Update 2. First, I want to address a common question. Many people seem fixated on the 4-hour nap. I enjoy sleeping immensely. It's a regular habit at my sister's place. It's not a profound mystery, though it may have inadvertently contributed to this predicament. Another point of interest is the cameras. In this day and age, I believe people should have cameras in their homes. I have them installed in my own residence, which I did after hiring my first babysitter, and I've uncovered a lot by reviewing the footage. They don't need to be in every room, just common areas. Now for the actual update. My niece came over to formally apologize to my husband and me. She cried throughout the entire apology, insisting she had never done this to anyone else, only me. I repeatedly asked her why, and she simply kept reiterating her apologies. My husband believes she likely thought I would be the easiest to forgive. I explained to her precisely why I was upset and the depth of the hurt she had inflicted upon both my husband and me. I informed her that I would be maintaining low contact with her for the foreseeable future. I let her know I had canceled her birthday celebration and any gifts she would have received. The sole thing she would receive from me is her first college tuition, a promise I made a long time ago. I am honoring this more as a courtesy to my sister than anything else, knowing it would significantly assist her. My niece will also not be permitted in my house for the foreseeable future. Her father also contacted us, offering his apologies. We have decided against pursuing legal action as a favor to my sister's family. They are currently facing many challenges, and I didn't want to complicate their lives further. During this conversation, she denied having a romantic interest in my husband, as many of you had speculated. I asked if she felt I wasn't giving her enough attention, and she said no. Oh, and I discovered she had texted 2 other individuals, nothing serious but still concerning. Some people inquired if she had underlying mental health issues. To my knowledge, she does not. She was evaluated when she was younger, and no such issues were identified. She had a tendency towards drama in elementary and middle school, but nothing truly worrisome. We informed her that she would be starting therapy, to which she responded that nothing was wrong with her. My husband then stated that well-adjusted individuals wouldn't behave as she did. Her mother added that therapy was simply to help her navigate situations in healthier ways. Also, the computer will be given to my brother's son, who is beginning college this fall. It will likely be more beneficial to him. My children have since blocked her. She was made to find a new job. She previously worked for her uncle on her father's side, but it was decided it would be better for her to work somewhere entirely separate, without family connections. My mother has been upset with my husband and me, asserting that we were going too far and that my niece was just a kid. One of my uncles and two of my aunts are siding with her, and have been harassing us with calls and messages. My sister and her husband, however, are on our side. Over the days following the conversation at my house, my mother has been updating us that my niece is depressed, cries daily, and repeatedly states she didn't mean it, that everyone hates her and is no longer speaking to her, and that her second mom no longer loves or cares for her. She claims they have taken everything from her. Trigger warning: self-harm. On the 12th, my niece attempted to end her life. Her older sister discovered her. She left a note apologizing for all the pain she had caused, stating we would all be better off without her. She wrote that she would prefer to be gone than to live knowing I despise her, and that my children no longer wish to be close to her. She actually wrote a very extensive letter, but I cannot include all of it here. She is currently still in the pediatric intensive care unit, as she inflicted significant harm upon herself. I have visited the hospital daily since learning of this. My husband now wonders if we went too far. My mother declares she will curse me and cease all communication with my family if I do not restore things to how they were. My children believe it is their fault and are prepared to apologize for blocking and distancing themselves from her. I am more conflicted now than I was a week ago. It feels as though everyone is expecting me to rectify the entire situation. I genuinely don't know what to do right now. My sister continues to insist I don't have to do anything, but she has been profoundly distressed. My niece's other siblings have all sent me variations of, "I know she hurt you, but please forgive and forget, because she almost died." My extended family has also been overwhelming. "You are a grown woman waging war on a 16-year-old. You are evil and don't deserve good things. I hope your life ends up like what you're inflicting on your niece." I've even received messages from strangers because my sister's mother-in-law posted on Facebook that I was a bitter woman harming her granddaughter and many other accusations. So the past 3 days have been mentally agonizing for me. Without diminishing what my sister's family is enduring, I am profoundly sad, heartbroken, confused, and utterly exhausted. Please send your thoughts and prayers to my sister. I am unsure how this will conclude, but I will keep everyone updated when my niece is out of the ICU, and as other developments unfold. Thank you for all your guidance and supportive words. Update 3. I want to express my deepest gratitude to my sister, my niece's mother. She won't see this, but I want these words to be out there. I've told her directly, but I want you all to hear it too. She has not only been my staunchest defender against all the unwarranted attacks, despite her own struggles, but she has also been incredibly supportive of me. She stood up for me against my mother and other relatives. She also posted a counter-message on Facebook after all the negativity from her mother-in-law. Secondly, I want to address those inquiring about how my niece harmed herself and how she was found. She ingested a harmful substance. We're not entirely certain of its composition, but it was a mixture of cleaning supplies. Her oldest sister discovered her on the bathroom floor. She was extubated on the 16th after undergoing a full bowel irrigation and a single session of hemodialysis because she had sustained an acute kidney injury. She was intubated for 26 hours. She is now out of the ICU and is in the pediatric medical unit. The same evening she left the ICU, she had to be placed on a 72-hour psychiatric hold and will be transferred to an inpatient psychiatric facility once she is medically cleared. She did receive a psychiatric evaluation, and so far, she has been diagnosed with ADHD, depression, and histrionic personality disorder. The psychiatrist suggests she might also have borderline personality disorder, but that will be better determined at the psychiatric facility. I am still maintaining low contact with my niece. I've had only one phone call with her, during which I told her I loved her and that we were getting her help. Her therapist advised me to gradually reintroduce my presence into her life, but without making any promises such as "if you get help, we'll be okay." She explained that since I have previously been a positive influence, my background presence might aid her healing process. She offered suggestions for this background presence like letters, phone calls, or visits if I felt up to it. I am not to give her any gifts or rewards. I haven't decided which approach to take yet. I might just send a monthly letter. My sister thoroughly searched my niece's phone and found no inappropriate pictures of my husband or me, but she did delete the streaming applications my niece had accessed. I know some people were concerned about her taking those photos, though I am certain she saw them. My children are now in therapy, both individual and family. My husband and I finally explained the entire situation in detail to them, including my struggles during my first pregnancy and how my niece's prank triggered me. The therapist facilitated the entire discussion beautifully. My niece's other siblings are also now in therapy. The oldest has since apologized for her texts and harsh voicemails. We have also sent the children to my in-laws for the next 3 weeks. Their therapy will be conducted online. I also blocked my mother on their phones. They are not to speak to any of my relatives for now. My mother became even more aggressive, directly targeting my children with texts and calls, which was one of the reasons we sent them away. My niece's father, Bill, broke down while she was still in the coma and completely changed his stance. He left me a lengthy voicemail, claiming I was harming his daughter and tearing her away from him. I had not liked him when he first started dating my sister, and he accused me of using my niece to sabotage him because I disliked him. He stated that if anything happens to her, he would not forgive me. This is a complete reversal of his previous position. I don't know if it's grief or his mother's influence. He is now at odds with his wife because she agrees with maintaining the consequences we all decided upon, but he wants to relent. My family and my other sisters are striving to support my niece's mother in every way we can. I have had to completely disconnect from my mother, including some of my aunts and uncles. My father is divorced from my mother and resides on the other side of the country. He is entirely on my side regarding this whole ordeal. I have 2 brothers, both of whom are on my mother's side, while all my sisters are on mine. My mother sent me a deeply distressing text message that I will simply paste here, as I don't even know how to adequately describe it. You are the most disgraceful child I have ever brought into this world. I curse the day you were placed in my arms. Your life will never know peace as long as you deny peace to your niece. You are so foul, and you will go to hell for causing this much pain to your sister's family. You are no daughter of mine, and I disown you. Do not call me your mother. Keep your unclean children away from me too. If you approach me, I'll choke you and make you consume toilet cleaners, like your niece attempted. What kind of mother sends this to her child? I took a screenshot, blocked that number, and printed a copy of the text. This embodiment of evil then emailed me 2 days later, demanding my contribution for remodeling her house. Right, as if a cursed child would do that. I simply blocked her email too. I don't even comprehend why she referred to my children as unclean. They were all born within marriage and to the same man. This has been the longest month of my life, and it's not even over yet. I experienced a panic attack the other day because of everything. My wonderful husband has been my absolute rock and support. I genuinely don't know what I would do without him, or how I could ever repay him for all of this. I spend most days simply weeping. Update 4. I took a few days offline, partly on the advice of the children's therapist and frankly because my nerves are completely frayed at this point. However, since so many of you have been following, supporting, and for better or worse, analyzing my family's turmoil, here's what's new, because things certainly haven't quieted down. Brace yourselves, I suppose. First, my niece was formally moved to the adolescent psychiatric facility late last week. Admissions there were smoother than I had anticipated, which surprised me, as she even requested I visit on the first Saturday. I almost didn't go. My sister encouraged me. She's been doing her own difficult emotional work and felt it was the correct next step, controlled and with a therapist present. So I went. Seeing her was, I'll just say, both heart-wrenching and surreal. My niece appeared like a much smaller version of herself, with hospital socks, and her hair in a loose flattened braid. I had all my therapist's talking points ready, but she just started sobbing the moment I entered. I ended up sitting awkwardly in a plastic chair in a room adorned with hopeful slogans and construction paper cutouts, simply letting her cry. She finally managed to say she missed me, that she had ruined everything, and if she could rewind just 1 second of her life, it would be the moment she took my phone. We didn't discuss the birthday, the computer, or any material things. I simply told her that love is complex, that I was still upset, but I hadn't abandoned her. She asked if I could write to her occasionally. I said I would. The therapist had prepared me for this. Establishing boundaries but not complete absence, which is harder than it sounds. As I was leaving, she tried to hug me, but a staff member gently stopped her. No physical contact is permitted yet. It was truly agonizing. Meanwhile, the family drama intensified considerably. Some brilliant individual, my aunt I later discovered, printed out portions of my last Reddit update, highlighted and annotated them, and shared copies with the family group chats, even providing one to my mother. Consequently, I started receiving texts with Bible verses and, unbelievably, a WhatsApp voice note prayer chain about me, turning my heart to my wandering lamb. I confess I started laughing when I reached verse 6 of one particularly aggressive email. My own children, meanwhile, have continued their therapy. They are still at my in-laws, ironically having a wonderful time, and they sent my niece a collaboratively made get well soon card with drawings of cherished family memories. Their therapist stated it wasn't reopening wounds, but actually demonstrated healthy, cautious connection. My husband recorded a video message from my niece, telling her he was thinking of her but that trust is built gradually and that she needs to focus on her own healing, which the therapist approved. And my sister played for my niece during a call. She reportedly watched it twice and wept. Here's where it becomes almost absurd or just plain painful. When my mother heard about the children's card, she posted screenshots and personal family photos on her recently reactivated Facebook account, all with captions lamenting the cold-heartedness of the modern world. I briefly considered creating a TikTok to initiate a cursed child trend, but decided the humor wasn't worth the ensuing drama. Instead, my sisters and I had a long wine-fueled video chat during which we all agreed we are done with the matriarchal chaos for now. We will keep her blocked and out of our affairs. Speaking of Bill, my niece's father, he's been on an emotional roller coaster. 3 nights ago, he called me to apologize for his previous message, then spent 20 minutes uncontrollably crying, saying he's terrified he'll lose his child. He admitted that his mother, the mother-in-law of the year who initiated the online gossip, had been influencing him, but also that he felt helpless and ashamed for not recognizing his daughter's struggles sooner. He said he started seeing a counselor, which I never ever expected. On the practical side, we have a full family meeting scheduled for this weekend. My sister, her husband, their children, excluding my niece, obviously, and my household, including my children and husband. We are all supposed to bring a future hope, written on an index card for the therapist leading the session. I've written that I desire a family where healthy boundaries and profound love are not mutually exclusive, and where I can take a nap at my sister's house without it escalating into criminal-level drama. My niece's evaluation is still ongoing, but the facility called my sister yesterday to discuss a potential transition plan and asked if I would consider participating in 2 family therapy sessions virtually at first. The therapist stated that my niece's progress has been in small but steady steps. She has begun openly discussing the prank as more than just a prank. She has spoken about craving attention in ways she didn't comprehend, feeling as though she was lagging behind her peers, and fixating on testing her relationships to prove they couldn't truly break. It has been suggested that some of her behavior likely stems from unaddressed trauma and chronic anxiety, masked by high-functioning perfectionism, a phrase I could honestly tattoo on every woman in my family. None of this undoes what happened, but it makes me feel less adrift. I still haven't unblocked my mother or most of that side of the family, though I do briefly check her emails for any signs of escalation, threats, or harassment. Those would go directly to my father and the authorities if necessary. Instead, I'm concentrating on what my better half constantly reminds me. Keep the circle small, maintain boundaries, leave space open for hope, and never give anyone your phone passcode. In news no one anticipated, my brother, the previously quiet and neutral one, reached out for the first time without prompting. He apologized for being timid and ineffective, said he had been reading what was circulated, and realized his own children could have their lives disrupted by similar drama one day. We spoke for almost 2 hours about the meaning of forgiveness and how to continue moving forward, and for the first time, I didn't feel like I was living in a reality show directed by Kafka. I wrote my niece a letter today. I told her about the day she was born, about how she used to say, "Let's be sisters, not cousins," when she was 5. I told her she could take all the time she needs, that building trust isn't instantaneous, and that I want her to heal and learn to love herself as much as I have loved her. Perhaps I'll mail it, perhaps I'll read it to her in therapy. Small steps. So here we are. The family is bruised, perhaps smaller, but stronger in the areas that truly matter. I probably won't ever have the same relationship with my niece that I did a year ago, and my mother's text message is permanently affixed to my fridge, but I do believe we will all endure. And for the record, from now on, my phone is strictly Face ID, and the only nap I'm taking at my sister's house will be on the living room floor with my phone securely taped to my chest. Update 5. First, let's discuss the family therapy session, or as I've come to call it, the Summit at Mount Dysfunction, which finally took place. If you're imagining chairs in a somber semicircle and tissues by the bucketful, you're pretty close. The therapist, whom I'm convinced is either a saint or possesses an unusual affinity for chaos, attempted to kick us off with, "Let's talk about hope for your family's future." My husband immediately blurted out, "No more group chats," which elicited a laugh that lasted just long enough to diffuse the tension. Everyone brought their hope card. There were some truly touching ones. My children wrote in glitter pen about looking forward to family game nights again. Bill's was predictably heartfelt. I want to truly know my daughter, not just as the child who texts people for money. My sister's was, as expected, selfless. Everyone in this room finds peace. And I reread mine and wondered if I had perhaps oversold the dream. We dedicated a significant amount of time and tears to discussing what boundaries will look like moving forward. The children, surprisingly, were the most candid. My oldest inquired if she would still be permitted to ignore her cousins, just checking in texts for a while, and when the therapist affirmed, absolutely, it felt like someone had opened a window, letting in a breath of fresh air that we all desperately needed. My niece participated via video call from the psychiatric facility, with therapists at both ends carefully facilitating. She had this faint, nervous smile, and I could see she was clutching my letter like a comfort object throughout the entire call. We kept the conversation simple, but she did say, I understand why you need space. I think I'm learning what that even means. No grand, dramatic apologies, nothing for social media. Just a teenage girl a little less adrift, uttering the most honest words she's ever spoken to me. But life, it seems, will not be outdone on the drama front. While we were in session, my mother, because of course, orchestrated a full family Facebook forgiveness prayer live on video, roping in 2 aunts, several cousins, and for reasons I still don't comprehend, our old neighbor who used to hoard squirrels. I tell you this to illustrate that somewhere, several fully grown adults broadcast a cast out the coldness mass for the internet, including reading highlights from my therapy letter as exhibits A through C, claiming I was under attack from the spirit of pride. They tagged everyone, including my work account. People from my office have now seen me described as the one who lets children suffer for napping. I have not stopped laughing or crying, sometimes both, which is very much on brand these days. My sister has gone to DEFCON 1 in family defense. She's reporting and blocking, and after one too many digressions about cursed bloodlines, has uninvited our mother from all summer gatherings. For what it's worth, my father texted me that he watched the forgiveness hour with his wife, and they both agreed verbatim. Good thing you know crazy when you see it. Meanwhile, the cousin's computer surprise has taken an unexpected turn. My brother, the one who called me if you recall, drove the computer over with his son and handed it off with a sheepish, let's make it official. They've started a family Mario Kart night. I haven't played in years, but apparently, my years of stress have blessed me with the ability to dominate teenagers at Rainbow Road. This small ritual has genuinely been a bomb for everyone, including my children, who definitely picked up some colorful language from Grandpa last Tuesday. We're working on that, by the way. Okay, now for the twist literally nobody asked for. Remember the other kid prank incident my niece once pulled on a friend? That girl's mother reached out after seeing the Facebook drama. Not with animosity. She told me she's followed my posts, has experienced something similar, and wanted to share that her own daughter largely overcame it by learning firm boundaries with support and a complete social media blackout. We had a virtual coffee and there was crying. It truly helped. My niece remains in the facility but is finally having days without incident. She sends short letters. I'm journaling and her therapist says she is responding well to dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, and medication. The staff mentioned she wants to arrange a family therapy rematch in a month, with a longer visit. Her older sister promised to bring her uncursed cookies, an inside joke, from a nearby bakery she loves. Tiny steps, but steps nonetheless. My husband, the legend that he is, has handled this with such remarkable grace that our own therapist warned he might be internalizing too much for too long. A classic generous husband move. He's now taking solo walks every evening, leaving passively aggressive audiobooks about boundaries within earshot. He told me last night, you made it through your mom, this whole mess and a knockout nap scandal. Maybe take a week off phone drama. He might be onto something. And what about me? I sent out a family-wide, will not be hosting any drama BBQs or prayer hours this summer message, logged out of every family Facebook group, and set all phone notifications to unknown senders only. I forgive but I don't forget, and I certainly don't let drama into my text before I let it into my mind. If you take anything from this, please let it be. Never underestimate the power of naps, the resilience of children, yes, even the dramatic ones, or the sheer entertainment value of a family who cannot go a week without turning group chats into psychological warfare. Also, invest in Face ID and buy stock in Apple because I am single-handedly keeping them in business with all my account resets. We're not fully fixed, but we're okay, tentatively patched together, and perhaps a touch less naive. The letter I'm writing my niece this week quotes her 5-year-old self. Families don't break forever. They just stretch out and snap back when we need them. If there's any sanity left in me someday, maybe I'll even buy her a cake after all, but she won't be picking it up alone, and my phone will be staying in the car with the doors locked, music blasting, and me eyes closed, napping in the sun.